Okay, it's a damp March morning here in New Jersey, and today we want to give you an overview of the 2010 Triumph Bonneville, which I've owned for about a year and a half now. I'm going to give you some close-up views so you can evaluate the bike for yourself in case you're thinking about buying one or one like it. And first thing I want to do is show you the seat height. I'm fairly short, I'm about 5'5", and that was one concern I had when I bought this bike, but it fits me like a glove. So let me show you what that looks like. Alright, let me just show you some of the up-close features of the bike and what I've done with it and what I like and what I don't like about it. See, I'll show you the mileage right now. We're at 4685. I think I bought it with about 800 or 900 on it. And that's only been in a year and a half of driving. It's been a great bike. I had really no major problems with it at all. I did fit it with a GPS recently, and it has a way to do that underneath the gas tank, which wasn't too hard. In the winter time, I'll keep a windshield on it, but normally I just take that off. But it does have that capability. The windshield, you know, it protects your chest and keeps you warmer on winter or cold days. But it really doesn't help as far as your head area. You definitely get a lot of wind gusseting from the windshield. But it does, you know, keep you a little bit warmer. You notice the grips. The grips are just standard stock grips that I have. And for the brake and the clutch, there is an adjustable distance. So if you have long hands or shorter hands, you can adjust that very easily on the fly. This bike is fuel injected. All the mag wheel Triumph Bonnevilles are fuel injected. But it is made to look like it has carburetors, which is kind of cool, just a retro look. But all the bikes from 2009 on up have the mag wheels. And I've had no problems with them at all. The tires that come with it are, I think these are stock, are Metzler's, and that has been no problem at all. I mean, in fact, these things hold air very well. I never have a problem as far as losing pressure or anything like that. The brakes, again, it's just standard brakes, but they're perfectly adequate for what I do. The exhaust is something I do plan on changing. This bluing, by the way, is pretty common. And at first I didn't like it, and there are products to remove it, but you know what, after I got used to it, I kind of dig the look, so I leave that. But I do plan on changing the exhaust, which will be a future video. This is the stock exhaust, and if there's one drawback of this bike, it's that this exhaust is pretty quiet, almost too quiet. It's kind of like a sewing machine. So that's something I'll be changing in the near future. It is chain driven. It is fairly easy to clean if you have a center stand, which this particular bike is equipped with, although that's not standard. You have a sight glass for checking the oil. For oil changes, you have a fill plug here, which is easy to get to. And then I'll just try to show you underneath here. There's your oil filter underneath, and it's not really too hard to get to. Oil changes are pretty easy. I did equip this bike with a rear luggage rack, which has been very handy for me. I use that quite a bit. The seat, you know, it's a very retro looking seat, and what's nice about it is that if you're on a longer ride, you know, normally you might sit in this area right here, but if you're in a longer ride, you can kind of move your rear end back and forth just to give yourself a little relief, and that's worked out pretty well. They do make some other seats that are gel filled and that kind of thing, but I haven't found the need for it yet. Carrying a passenger is easy. You have these just flip up and down, so that's easy enough. Here you can see, you know, there's a center stand right here, which is not used right at this second, but that's easy, and that stays out of the way. And then of course the standard side stand. The engine is air cooled, but it is equipped with an oil cooler here. The standard headlight can be upgraded with an H4 bulb, which I did do, and it does make a big difference, so that's a worthy upgrade, and it's not too expensive. Back here you have the adjustment for the chain, which is very easy to do, and there's marks here to tell where you are, so you're just adjusting this bolt, and that's very easy to do. I've had no problems with that, and it doesn't stretch all that much. I've had no problem with the chain really. To remove the seat, here's my rear luggage rack, and to remove the seat there's a bolt here and a bolt here. And these are aftermarket extended bolts that I got, which makes it much easier to do. but it's not too big a deal to remove the seat if you need to get underneath there for the battery or for electrical connections. There is a steering lock here, which can help, I guess, for anti-theft, although I'm not sure how effective it is. Here's a look at the riding position. The sight lines are pretty good. The SE model comes with a tack. These lights are standard, but you can get LED bulbs for them, which I do recommend because that makes a difference in the brightness. There's plenty of room to mount a GPS if you want to do that. And I've had no problems as far as the instrumentation. Give you an idea how the windshield mounts. See if I can get in here. There's a bar that comes down here and a bolt here, and the headlight is bolted here, and there's a little bracket which mounts the windshield there. So that's really the two places where it mounts, and it's very easy to take off. So that's why I just put it on for the winter time, and after that I take it off and enjoy the fresh air. To start this bike, turn the key on. You can hear the fuel pump cranking up. Sometimes that fuel pump makes a squealing noise, which apparently is fairly normal, but it hasn't been a problem yet. There is what sort of looks like a choke, but it isn't. Really just keeps the RPM higher, but you can pull that out if it's a little bit cooler and adjust that fairly easily. And then you just pull the clutch in, and the standard controls to start the bike. So overall, for the period that I've owned this, about a year and a half, I've had really no problems with it. I've been very happy with the bike. It certainly has a lot of style, and power is plenty for what I'm doing anyway. I can keep up with anybody I need to keep up with. Obviously sport bikes will have a little more power than this, but that's not what I'm about, so that's not a problem for me. And I highly recommend this bike. I think Triumph has done a fantastic job keeping the retro style while giving you the modern amenities that you would want on a bike. And just the reliability is nice. It starts up without any drama. It just goes. And so I'm very, very happy with the bike. I do plan on changing the exhaust, but other than that, I think I'm probably going to keep it basically as it is. Good bike.